Let's just check that we are live in the group. Just a second. We'll check it. Yeah, we are. Okay, good. Okay. Beauty. Yeah. So welcome. My name's Brian Knight and I live near Melbourne in Australia. And it's just turned 5:30 in the morning on a Tuesday for me. So now we're sort of getting into the moving part of the week, but with this new strategy and indicator, it looks like things, it doesn't matter what day of the week, we'll just see. Anyway, let me just share. We better go to there. Just share this screen to start with. So welcome to this live Forex analysis session. Please note any trades discussed here are to be classed purely as educational only, and that's because we're a group of people helping each other and we are not financial advisors. So please only take trades you're happy to take based on your own analysis. I always suggest trading with a demo account until you can prove to yourself that you're profitable. It's senseless doing trading live money until then. So always follow proper risk management to protect your account as taught in IM Academy and the Ninja Group, as each trade carries risk as well as potential profits. This ninja trading system, banker strategy, sniper, smart money, whatever you want to call it, only calls for 1% of your account to be placed on any trade on any period, any time, or maximum of anyway. So if the recording of this session goes anywhere and you're not already an exclusive Ninja member, then please get back to the person who referred you. As an exclusive member, I have access to Go Live, where there are professional traders that trade this strategy and other profitable strategies. There is also a full risk disclosure here and a little note here about what we're here as live session traders. So there we go. I'll just stop sharing that. Okay, welcome Tom and Helen. You have a holiday, Helen, today.
Hi, Brian. Yes, we've had a bank holiday today.
It's just what, laying around in the sun, or is it just trying to keep warm now?
Yeah, it's starting to be having to try and keep warm. It's definitely a touch of autumn here now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we had a bit of rain yesterday and overnight, so quite a lot actually. Anyway, so how did you get to trade at all, or?
Yeah, I did some on CAD Japanese yen, not a lot.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting. I basically watched it most of the day. So let's just share screen here. We'll go and have a look. This is, actually, I'll just turn that indicator off because it's too hard to see. And this is on the 1 minute, but if you look at where it came out of from the end of last week into today being the first day of the trading week, and it's nearly done 24 hours. So it just I watched it work its way all the way up here to this point, which was 6 a.m. UK time. And realizing that there was a UK holiday, I sort of dropped down in here, and I have to tell you now, well, I will tell you, I got into a trade, where is it? It's pulled down, and as it pulled back down here, I got into the trade just there. I'll show you, we'll pull it back over. Just in there. It pulled back up a little bit, We'll just put a short position on it. Just drop down there. I think it was there. Somewhere around, what number is that? What I see here, around about there. And I'm pretty sure I had a 5 on it. Might have been slightly higher actually. In there because I didn't get stopped out on that one. Yeah. Yeah, it must have been about the 5 there. That's it. I'm just trying to work out where the entry, because it was pushing there. Anyway, what I did do though is that was, what time was that at night? Or in the afternoon. That was 3 in the afternoon. I watched it. I'm pretty sure it was around about, yeah, it was about there. Really interesting. It was about there, somewhere there, 8:30 when I went to bed, and I looked at it and went, ooh, and I put a TP in. If we look, hang on, I'll put this on because I used this as a gotta go back further. I can't. Hang on. Go to 5 minutes. I use this down here as a potential TP from here to see whether it would break that, even though knowing it was in an uptrend. So obviously what happened is as soon as I went to bed, it basically went in the other direction. So what I had done is interesting. I don't normally do, but what I did is I bought my stop loss into break even plus a couple of pips. So it stopped me out, not with a loss anyway, but it wasn't any profit to talk about. So I'm not gonna list that. So yeah, so that was the journey of, it's gonna take sessions off there, but you can see where session started and then it just pushed down, right? And then once it got to this time, which was a crossover, London and New York started, look at it, just pushed it up further. So yeah, anyway, the high there, it came back down to low there and then pushed up even further. If we look at the multi-time frame, you can see the 4 hour is cycling on its way up. So it's still sitting up there. We're not going to get a sell out of it or a proper sell to break any of the lows until this 4 hour cycles and then comes back down again. Oh, welcome, Grace. Didn't notice you were there. So yeah, so that was my endeavors in the first, I think that's 12 hours anyway. It was after 12 before I sort of got into that trade. And I think I posted into the group chat, there was like only 11, there was a little jump there at the start of open. You can see, yes, see where it closed there and where it opened. So it closed on, the end of the trading week and started up in the week, and there was a gap in there. But look what it did. You see that? See the gap there? And then do you see what it did?
Came back and filled.
Came back, filled that gap, and then off it went. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? How it does. Came
Yeah,
down.
mine doesn't show that at all.
Ah, you're an Oanda though, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oanda
doesn't care about you knowing. Yeah.
They take the guesswork out of it.
True. True, you're right there.
They'll just fill it in.
Anyway, you could probably on your chart, Tom, just draw it in anyway.
Make it go the direction I want.
Yeah. Well, no, you can only do it after the event, though, Tom. You can only fill it in there.
Oh, that's the trick.
Yeah, not before. Sorry. So yeah, so I just watched this just climb its way back up here, creating higher lows and higher highs the whole, like until, what was it? Yeah, it was till, 3 o'clock or so in my afternoon. So all the way from 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. And then, as I said, I think I got in somewhere here. It dropped down and pulled back. That's where I got in. It did pull up there, but it didn't stop me out. And then, yeah, I was in it for a while, and then it came to this point. And look at that. See where all of the lower time frames are down the bottom, and then they pulled back up again. And there was also too, you could see a lot more volume in here for that push down, and then it basically thinned out, and then it went the other direction. More volume went into it there. Anyway, that's CAD-JPY. So I didn't lose anything, but I didn't sort of make anything yesterday on that. And again, it's the first day of the trading week. I'm not really too motivated in getting a trade at this point. So potentially, and we've got a consolidation here now before the market opens up into Sydney Asian. And if you look at it with the session thing, it's like, it's got to finish off, what are we, an hour and a quarter off changing over. And then we'll see what happens out of this consolidation, whether we'll get a move up or not. Yeah, that didn't do a lot, did it? Oh, unemployment rate in Japan. That's going to be interesting. What was the forecast? It wasn't going to change very much. Okay. We may not get a lot of movement out of it. Just something to notice, particularly if you want. But we're still looking at an uptrend. If we go to the higher time frames, what I've done is listen to Tom, and I've changed the color of my flags for whatever the currency, for example, direction. So if we look, Euro AUD is more downtrend, Euro GBP uptrend, NZD downtrend, USD CHF uptrend. So it's just a little visual for me to look. So we'll just see whether that pulls back down a bit. We'll see what happens with it, because it's got, these lower time frames are pulling down. Sorry. And then we'll see. It's got 30 minutes sitting up the top and just sort of snaking along with the 1 hour and the 4 hour. So at some point there'll be a turn, and after consolidation, we'll just see what happens there. Okay. Questions, answers, thoughts?
Just a wait and see on that one, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. There's no breaker structure there. It's just going sideways. Again, it's not something that we need to consider. If we put on here, you can see it's just doing this zigzag. And if we put on trailing Heikineshis, again, we're just getting up, down, up, down, up, down. It's like there's no real movement in it as yet. At some point, it'll come out of the end of this and we'll get a movement. So one of the things to do, probably the best thing, is put a box on there and see what happens at a consolidation. Yeah. I'll look at that one. It won't. We've just got to wait for whatever will happen with it. I'll have a look when it changes over to Sydney Asian, and then probably again pre-London. We'll see what possibilities are there. Yes, Tom,
Can I add a couple things?
go for it.
Okay, so looking at the chart that I have set up, there's actually a open volume bar at 107,412.
Okay, let's have, you mean as a session volume?
Yeah, it's a previous bar.
Yeah, okay. I've got to go up for time frame up.
I don't know. I don't even know if it'll show it. It may be from prior.
Is this up higher, is it?
Yeah,
107
it's
way
at
up there.
107,412.
Okay. Let's go to the hour. And I'm just going to get rid of some of those things. Yeah, there. Yeah. 409 or 420. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
if you look at the stochastics, it looks like this on this move coming into the slower market,
Yeah.
looks like it's going to be a pullback before a further push up.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing about it,
Because that 1 hour still pinned above the 4 hour.
yeah. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I can't show it because it's too messy. If you go from this swing high here to the swing low here, okay, swing high here to swing low here, this is broken through the 71.78.6. It's on its way up. So will it break this high here? It's also broken structure there. Like, see how it's pulled back down to this high here? I'll just put it. Can you see how price is now sitting at these peaks? So it pushed up to there, took out that in that volume, yeah, or previous volume. This was back on 22nd of July. You know, it took that out, and then basically it just pulled back down to this point. How far it pulls back before it, as you said, a little bit of a pullback before it actually goes up potentially to that point up here. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Above that peak,
Yeah.
the top peak that you
Yeah.
pointed at,
Yeah.
is the daily fib.
Yeah. Okay.
So really, to reach that daily fib, you only have to go 135 pips. I know that sounds
Yeah.
like a lot, but
Yeah.
one good
that's
push, and we're there.
You mean from way back over here somewhere, or?
No, I mean, like I go all the way out to weekly.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was about to say. So, yeah, you say, yeah, right out over here, from here down, right? Okay.
No. I have it all the way from the top left,
What? Way over there
all the way up, from all the
to
way
there
over there to the bottom. Yep.
to there.
Yep. Now throw
Huh?
the fib on, and it's right
If
there.
I do, it's probably going to put heaps of gear on it. Just hang on a second.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's going to load your screen again.
Yeah, it's all right. Wrong way. I do that so often, it's not funny. All right, you can see.
No, it's got to be the previous high. That my screen's limited. I don't even have that. It looks to me like it's a big, from that big peak. I don't even have that.
Yeah, I've got it. This
Wanda
is
doesn't show it, so
2000.
I'm
This is
from
1982. Nah,
Yeah.
you're under, mate.
yeah.
You're under.
No. I'm on December 3rd, 07.
Oh, right. Oh, you're
That
way
whole
over
that
here.
whole peak doesn't even show for me.
Yeah, it's all right. You're over here, probably. Yeah, 07. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
can
got to move that
see
bottom over.
over here. Yeah,
Yeah,
to there somewhere.
right.
Yeah, it's still got a fair way to go. It certainly could make it there quite easily, can't it? I mean, from there up into zone, it's 260, 270 pips. But yeah, it's on the travel. It's on the travel up at the moment. That's but if we come back to the 4 hour on it, whoop, and I do that. Yeah. Well, it's hard because now it's going to get rid of it. Yeah. But certainly if you look at 4 hours, see how it just keeps working its way back up. This didn't break structure here. It's pulled back up here. It's likely to go past this high up here. So as I said, we're looking at buys for this primarily. And from yesterday when I took that sell, I was being a little bit too optimistic, actually. Way too optimistic. Anyway, it was something that I just did because I was going to sleep. And then I thought, oh, I'll put my alarm on and get up at midnight. And I didn't do that. I just went, nah, it's the start of the week. I'm just going to have a sleep. And then maybe tomorrow night I'll do it, which is tonight. See how we go. Oh yeah, actually Claire's on night shift at work tonight. So, but that's okay. I'll be able to wake up and not disturb her, come up to the charts for a little bit. Anyway, so that's the discussion that has gone on for us. We've got this, looking at this for a further push up, yeah, and break that high. So it's broken that high, breaks that. And the other way to look at it is, where are we? Down here. UJ. See what UJ's done the same sort of thing. See how it's pulled back and now it's pushed back up again? You know, it looked like it was in the downturn. It's now sort of turned, it's coming back up. And it's broken that 71, 78. It's broken that, pulled back, and it looks like it's working its way back up again. Now let's look at some potential buys for that. The only issue that we've got with it, for example, CAD JPY, and if we come back to, we'll come back to the minute. So auto that up. The problem we have, or going to have, is all these sort of time frames are sort of sitting up the top. Depends on when they want to pull out of here. So just take notice. I'll put that gain box on there so it won't show up at the moment. There we go. Oh, look at it. Poke its little nose out underneath it. Okay, which could be that it's getting ready to push back up again. See that? We'll see how far that goes. It probably won't because it's like the 15 minutes coming down, but the 5's starting to pull back up. And if it does, it might come up, pull back, and then start going back up. But it might do that at the start. It's that's getting a bit oversold. So it'll want to pull back. Anyway, just watching, and you could put on your, that I can actually try. You can see it's pushed back down there. I think it'll just turn and come back up. But we're not in for trades at this sort of time. I want to see it break out of this consolidation and take a trade from there. Okay. Right.
Brian, can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah, go for it.
Those red lines that you had on, were they the session volume profile?
Correct. Yeah, which are there.
Could we just go back and look at those again, where you just had the view with just the red lines on?
Sure.
How did you achieve that?
What I did is I went down to this eye. So if I go to the 5 minute, order that. I know I'll have to go. I'll go to the 1 hour and I'll order that. See, it's got all these drawings on it. The session volume stays on there because it's not a drawing, it's an indicator. So if I hide all drawings, I can see them.
Oh, okay. I didn't realise that the actual. I thought it had just done it down to the red lines without actually the rest of the indicator on there. Okay.
Can you see that now?
Yes, yes, I can. Thank you. Sorry, I thought it had dropped the volume boxes off and just left the red lines. That's what I was trying to figure out.
No.
So you've got the lines extended to the right, have you, on your session volume profile indicator? Or have you drawn them all manually?
No, extend POC right.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the, I don't want the other things. I just want,
No.
I've put 150 row size. But anyway,
For me, I don't know whether I'm doing something different, but if I untick that, it actually puts the lines in a different place because it makes them look at a different period of time. Does that make sense? I think that's why it does it.
like this.
Yeah, so if you go and look at where the lines are now, that because they're only looking at the individual day, it actually puts them in a different place.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because
Hang
when
on.
they're extended, so I was talking to someone the other day, I can't remember who it was now, and when they're extended right, they're looking at the whole period of time where they're extending to the right rather than just the day that they're in. Maybe I need to go and check that again.
No. Okay, so ready? Have a look. Have a look at these two lines up here. Right? Have a look at where they are. Ready? I'll just show you. If I untick the extend, see they're in exactly the same spot.
Yeah, no, mine move.
Are you doing that on the same time period, or are you moving up and down in time?
No,
it shouldn't matter in time, Tom, because price is price.
Yeah, I think the explanation was that if you extend the lines right, that session volume profile is now looking at the point of control. The POC is now not just looking at the individual day, it's looking at the whole period of time that it's extending right over.
Oh, you might have. Where have you got?
Therefore, it potentially could move because it's now not looking at one day, it's looking at however many days. That top one is now looking at however many days since it actually was created rather than just the day in which it's created. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but do you have these things ticked?
Just a moment. I was going to say bear with me, but that got got a laugh yesterday.
Yeah. Polar bear or grizzly. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. I do have them ticked. The only one I've got unticked is the extend POC right. And that was only
this is under style.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just asked him one of the sessions. I think it was one of Richard Costello's gold sessions. I couldn't understand why my POC looked so different. It was in a completely different place to Richard's. And I'd got the extend POC right switched on. And when I switched it off, it went back to being just like Richard's because it was then only looking at one day rather than 2 days. Does that make sense?
Here, you've got all. You've got each market, pre-market. Have you got all on yours?
Let me have a look.
In under inputs?
I have got all, yes.
Okay.
Honestly, I hadn't done anything to change it. I just couldn't understand why mine looked so different. So I asked, and Richard didn't know, but someone else on the session said, "Oh, I've just been playing around with mine, and I've taken the extend POC right off it, and it's changed it, and it changes it completely."
It doesn't. It doesn't for me.
No, you're right. Let me go and put it on gold and see if I can make it.
That's interesting. I've never really noticed, but just doing it now, if I take it off, if I take it off and put it back on again, it's like it doesn't really change it. Price is price. Jesse, that's interesting.
That's what I thought as well. And that's why I said, no, that can't be right. Price is price. But
Yeah.
That was the explanation.
And you're on
was
FXCM as well?
I am.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Well, I'm not. I'm
FXCM.
actually on gold now, so I'm on Oanda, but I
Oh,
was.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
Everything else is on.
forget that on Oanda. Oh, my God. Okay.
Don't worry about it, Brian. I just thought I would.
That one's with Forex.com. That one's with Forex.com. Hang on, I've got a US. That one's with Global Prime. Okay. There's Global Prime. No, I'm interested. There's Global Prime. I'm on a 1 hour. Okay, so if we go on 1 hour, and if we, I'll just move that away. Okay, so just look at these 2 or 3 there. And if I don't extend them, oh, it gets rid of that one down the bottom. Oh, sorry, it gets rid of it because of the thing. But if you look at these 2 here,
Yeah, it doesn't appear to change them, does it?
no, they're in exactly the same spot.
I will experiment and see if I can duplicate the situation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Okay. Well, oh gee, CAD's doing this playing around at the moment, isn't it? I'm just getting alerts because it's pulling down. Where are we back on? 1 minute. Put those things back. All of that. Yeah, see how it's pulled back down to there? Now that line there is the top of the fib. I don't know if you can, you probably can't see it. I've got to, so I can tell. This is the 71, 78 zone. There was a swing high to a swing low and back up, okay? And I was on the impression that this would, particularly from a sort of sniper perspective, hit the 71 and then come back down. But it was in an uptrend, so it wasn't going to do that anyway. It's come up, it broke through. That's the previous high, that there. See how it touched it, pulled away, and then broke through? Now it's consolidating and come back to that line again. Very interesting how it comes back and it just, and for me, what it's done, hang on, this was, I'm going to turn that off for the minute. This was the, remember I mentioned about Jeff. Jeff was on with me. We got on to a little session together and Jeff talked about that 6 a.m. UK time and the previous high low and then where it moved. That's actually when I got into that trade because I was focused on it then. But the point about it is it hasn't come back down to this zone. And if we look, I'll just show you back here. You see all these green dashed lines and probably go to 5 minutes. It's probably easier to see. But if you look where for a number of days, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for basically all of last week, it sort of just bounced around on those green lines. Yeah. And now it's taken off. And it hasn't come back to these green lines yet, which it has previously. So what it may do, like what Tom's saying, we'll get a retracement and then a push back up. This could quite easily push back down into this zone here where you can see there's a little bit of consolidation and volume in here, or the chain. See it pushed up, came back and then went back, tested and then took off. And is there, yeah, and that you can see also, that's where the POC is. So if we change over into the next day, which we will in another hour, or just under an hour, this could work its way to that POC before it takes off again and goes back up. And if you think about it, after a push up, what's it going to need to do? come back down, isn't it? You know, and it did here. I didn't do much of a pull down, but it put from the start of the session, it pushed up and then pull back down again. Then it's pushed up. More likely it's going to be pulling back down. See it coming out the bottom here? Yeah. Anyway, that's just the way you can work out what trade you'd like to take out of it. I can see that there is a break of structure here now. It hasn't broken. It's come down to that high. It'll probably bounce back up before it drops out because it's met that high over here. And then we'll see, will it break this structure here? Well, will it break that? And then is it going to, how far will it go? See why it's coming? Well, why does this say that 15 is coming down? It's because the price is pushed down. Right? It's getting to be, again, oversold a bit more. Yeah. Okay. So that's CAD JPY, just watching, seeing, but there's certainly a possibility of trade from this. I'm going to follow, and I'm using this sort of trailing Heikin-Ashi to look, and I'm using high highs and lows. So see how that's made a low and broken that high low there? That's a good sign. It'll do pull back up and then maybe a pull back down. We'll just see. This looks like it's changed now. Yeah. And if you put the sessions on, you can see that change was when London finished and New York took over on its own. I think the session thing's quite interesting. Times to look at it, or just pre that anyway. To look for swing highs or swing lows. That's what I'm sort of indicating. Okay, you're AUD. What are that? I'll move that. Oop. Yeah, sad did that push up, and this is the sell back out. I'm still looking for potentially sells on it, but you certainly could have got a trade out of that when it pulled back up in that lower high and pushed back down. That's probably not something there that would tell you to get into a trade at that. So where are we? Yeah, see the 4-hour cycle is starting to come back down, and we've got consolidation. You might look at when that pulls back up again to have in, like, gets overbought and into a trade for a sellout on that one. Euro GBP. For that, yep, it did its buy, just as I said. Or sorry, that the market pushed from open and pushed up and then has settled out. Whether it'll probably pull back down again before it'll go back up. We'll see. What do we got? Yeah. The 4-hour and 1 hour are cycling back down again. Yeah. It may push up a bit. It just depends, because this 1 hour, so 30-minute, 15 and 5 are sort of pulling back up again. But there's this sideways movement. I'm going to have to see what happens when it gets into the Sydney Asian session and then on to London, because the banks in London will open and start their trading stuff. And not to say they weren't trading when banks were closed, because they still do that. It just, there was probably a bit less volume. What have we? Oh, and if you put sessions on there, you can see where it changed right there, pulled down, and then went back up again, and then went into that changeover, and then basically right at that point pulled back up again when London finished and New York took over. They're interesting sort of points to notice anyway. NZD CAD. We've got that as a sell, or a sell trend. And you can see it's dancing around sideways. Don't want to know about it. It's just, I don't think there's possibilities on that one, or there wouldn't have been. But look at that change there. New York opens, bang, up it goes. Like, just wait for it. Anyway, this is on a 1 minute. That could have been quite a good trade. That this is, this is actually went probably Asian. What's that? 12. I don't know when. I don't know when the market opened in Japan, because this session thing doesn't split them up. It's got to work out. Maybe it's more like 11, and it pushed up to there. I don't know if anybody knows. Anyway, yeah, because that's Sydney there, and it's Sydney into whenever the exchange in Japan opens. I'm not sure. Anyway, but certainly there's possibilities in every one of these pairs. But, like, I'd be looking at that from a session perspective and noticing. It's not hard to come to the charts at those times too, I don't think. So for a buy on this, but it's just really gone sideways. We put on some sessions there. Yeah, that was a good build up there. Yeah, but then I'm not trading in that first sort of part. And if we look back over here, I'm still looking at, come on, 5 minutes. I'll take the sessions off. Hang on. I'm still looking at potential, and what I was saying here, this was back, when was this? At the end of the trading week, I said potentially this will come back up into the zone, and it's sort of working its way. It's creating a higher high here. It's pulled back. Let's see what. Oh, no, that 4 hours pulling down. The 1 hour, those, we may make it up into that zone before the 4 hour takes over. It's cycling back down. We'll just see. But yeah, the 1 minute, if we can focus just on that. And I think there's, if I just put a GAN box on this, what do you reckon, Tom? I don't know. I think I'd go from that high there. I mean, it looks like consolidation before, but it's not really. I mean, there's too much. Well, it's not that much movement. What's the? I mean, it's 50 pips, nearly. I mean, that is significant. Where these inner channel is quite tight. So we'll see what happens with this. Can you set a? Hang on, let me just see if you can.
I'm sitting here talking to you and I was on mute.
Oh, really? Oh, that's all right.
No, I was saying I would put it.
You can't set an alert on a GAN box, so I could put in a parallel channel and see if it breaks out. So yeah, so what were you saying, Tom? Sorry.
That's okay. All I was going to say is where you measured that high to the low is where I would have put my GAN box and just consumed that whole strip. Yeah,
you would have taken it from here back down to there and through.
Exactly.
Yeah, I considered that.
That gives me more time to figure out which direction it's going, because it could fail at either the high or the low.
Yeah, true.
Go the opposite direction.
True. But that's a considerable CAD down there. That's a considerable move, though, Tom. A 50 pip move is sort of like, yeah, well, it can be part of that consolidation. Yeah, okay, we'll do this.
I mean, I may not be right at all. That's just where I would have put it.
Tom, no self-doubt here, mate. Okay.
Yeah, see, that's how I would consider it. It's right at the 50%.
And that's
line now.
fine. No problem whatsoever. It is down on 1 minute. So, but out of a consolidation, what's it going to do? Break out up or break out down? It's like, for me, it's on a buy. It's more likely to go back up here into the zone or past even. My only concern is, well, yeah, but you see that anyway. You don't want to rely on this. It's actually oversold there. God, that CAD's doing a lot of alerts, isn't it? What is going on? Yeah, it's broken out properly now, isn't it? Look at that. And it's not the time for me to get into a trade because spreads will go crazy, right? So I want to see what happens after this, whether it's going to continue up or not. Yeah, look at this. They're just waiting on the cliff top. I think you're right, Tom. I think we're going to get a pullback down before because of that push up all of yesterday. Or sorry, the last 24 hours. That push up the last 24 hours has got, it did a little pullback. I think it'll do another one back and then continue on up. We'll see. Yeah, see this? It says I'm getting all of these alerts on lower lows for it. When I start getting those, it's like, oh, hang on, what's going on? Yeah. Good day to you, Ray. I didn't stay up last night, Ray. I didn't put the alarm on.
I was waiting.
I had you on speed dial, mate. Had you on speed dial.
Beyond my eyelids, I was waiting.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, I went to bed. Look at this. I went to bed. The damn thing just changed direction and off it went. Ah, frustrating.
Yeah.
That's okay. I didn't lose anything and I didn't make a lot. So that's okay. I've conserved capital, which is what the name of the game is. I must admit, I think I was up about 15 pips and, well, not a lot of percentage. So what was I aiming for? Let me have a look. Short, I got in somewhere there. And I had a 5. I said about there. Oh yeah, I was going for about a 10 or 11. What did it, if I had got out there? Bugger, that would have been about 5, 6. You know what? I should have got out before. Anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's okay. That's all right. And then if I look at session, I like this. Just looking at sessions. I mean, that's right in the middle of stuff there. So that would have been really hard to tell.
Japan opens about 10 o'clock our time, by the way, Brian.
10 a.m. is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. You see this. You see all these time frames down the 30. I should have known because Tom has told me before. When the 30's down the bottom, you're going to get a lift. Just forgot what Tom had said.
I'm waiting for Tom to start doing these sessions, you know.
Oh yeah, Tom's onto it. He's got his motor running.
Never gonna happen.
He's got that voice of authority and everything going for him.
Yeah. You reckon it's
Never
about
gonna
there,
happen.
10 o'clock when it changes? Oh, maybe it is. About there. Yeah, it did do a jump up at that point, didn't it? You're probably right. It's probably around about the 10 o'clock mark. Because I'm just thinking Japan, where it is and time frame, it's probably about 2 or 3 hours. Like Perth start the first time. Yeah, okay. I'll try and get a clarification. I'll have a look and see what time that is for us. But I'll take yours
Hey,
as
Brian, it's 2 hours after Sydney opens.
well, that's only 9 o'clock then. Because Sydney opens at 7 a.m. for us, which is local
Yeah.
time. And if it's only 2 hours, that's 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 9. Look at that. Bang.
I've
And
got a
then
little chart, but I can't seem to paste it in the chat.
no, don't. No, it's okay. Rihanna, it's okay. Yeah, I can see it's just there. Look at that. 9 o'clock, and then it
9
took
o'clock.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
But that's current time. It depends when we go on to daylight savings or off. You go off daylight. You go off daylight savings. At times go all crazy for a couple of weeks because we
Yeah,
don't
that's
all do.
based on GMT.
Yeah, based on GMT. Yeah. I found that a lot of those things on websites, Rian, aren't that accurate, but when things are they're roughly.
Yeah, this is on Investopedia.
Okay. So that'd be 7 o'clock their time. So 9 o'clock mine. Okay. I just, because this session thing doesn't break it up. If you go in here, you've only got like Sydney Asians all one color, and then it's London and New York. It doesn't actually break up that Sydney Asian, and it's only listing 3 separate sessions. Yeah, that's okay. And if I know it's 9, I'm going to be looking at 9 o'clock my time for that movement. So if it's pushed up and then it comes back, then 9 o'clock is where, look at that, from 9 o'clock it just pushed all the way up to pre-London open and then pull back. Like that would have been, I can tell you now, that would have been a very nice trade. But part of my rules is that first 12, 24 hours, I'm not going to, of the trading week, I'm not going to take it. But if, like, let me just show you, if I had taken a long position off this, that's 9 o'clock there, and you wait for it to do a pullback, for example, somewhere in here, maybe, right? And if you put 5 pips on that, that would have been a very nice 12%. And that's over 5 hours, 6 hours. And I was sitting here anyway for 6 hours. I don't want to share my boring life yesterday. I was sitting in a mediation with no outcome. But anyway, now we go to court at some time. We go to federal court for some shysters took money off us and just squandered it. A group of us. It's like a group action. So anyway, so that's okay. They all try to deny that it wasn't their fault. They go, look at him, and then they got our lawyer in to say, look, if you take this amount of money, we'll help you throw the other one under the bus. It was really interesting. Anyway, they did the same thing last time, but we're holding strong at the moment. Anyway, life's always interesting. So 9 o'clock. So I'll be looking at 9 o'clock today too. Let's see what happens. See, it's pulling back here for the end. This is probably profit taking at the end of the New York session, the push up and back down here. We'll see what happens at Sydney Open, and then 9 o'clock is probably where it gets a bit more serious. So for me, I'm starting to get a lot more, like instead of it being more random, like, I'm going to look at it now. This is actually not random, but look at pre-Sydney Open. That's fine. Spend the time, and I love the time with all of you. And this sort of focuses me looking at what's happening and potential for the day. What I'm going to look at is 7 a.m. when market changes over, and for probably half hour. And then I'm going to look 9 o'clock. All right. I'm going to look 9 o'clock till probably, I'll look again pre-lunch. I just want to have it available. But then I'm going to look again at 3 in the afternoon, which I don't normally do. But, with Jeff's suggestion, 3 in my afternoon is 6 a.m. UK time. And then I want to look at the, because when Paul's on, it's when, or sometimes Paul or Richard or other people are on, is when it's like 5 o'clock my afternoon, which is when London opens or pre-London. I'll be looking at there. And then I want to look at it at 10 o'clock at night, right? See that? And then basically it's like, well, that's 2 in the morning, but where are we? I'm on there. I wouldn't do 2. Probably won't do that because I'm not going to be concerned with that movement. It's more with this movement, like 10 o'clock to midnight sort of time. Somewhere in there. I'm looking for those continuations. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Thanks, Rian, for your input. 10 a.m. 9 a.m. for me. That's right. At the moment for the Asian. So see if I can see some of those corresponding. So I'm going to be looking for whether we have turns from swing highs to lows or that sort of thing at those points. That's the reason why I'd want to have a look at them. So how was that? Oh, yeah. Thanks, Rian. Yeah, Tokyo opens 2 hours after Sydney. That's it. Interesting at all? You can work out what the times are for you. You can use that session indicator or whatever and put it in your local time and then work out from there what times you have. I mean, I can say to you that the people in UK and US are probably in a much better position than we are, Ray, because of it's the movement or the larger movements are occurring in their sort of awake hours. And Sydney Asian session, you can oversleep, everyone, because it's nothing much happens, or not a lot anyway. Not as much as other times. So was that helpful?
Oh, it's good. Thank you, Brian.
No worries. And we'll just see if you, and now I'm sort of in earnest. So now it's my sort of 3-day, even though I took a trade yesterday because it looked really good. And as I said, I preserved capital. I didn't come out just because I went to bed, went to sleep. But, these are now my 3 sort of more laser focused days of the trading week for me. This is my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And got to remember, Friday is non-farm payroll. So the setup to that, there'll be, some decent movements, or we'll see how we go. All right, then. Until tomorrow, same time, same channel. Anybody watching the recording, if you do watch the recording of this, and yeah, by the way, it probably doesn't matter to this group, but you notice I've been recording these sessions, and I put them into my YouTube now so that later in the day, so it's not actually current for it. I put it later in the day into my YouTube, and I've got a record of them in YouTube for people if they want to watch now too. Anyway, thanks for being here. Take it easy.
Brian,
Ciao.
see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Ryan.